and welcome to Full Moon Energy. My name is Adriana. You might know me from Adriana Asana or Full Moon Energy practices in the past. We come together on the full moon in practice during this heightened emotional time. We can use this yoga practice, this meditation, however we need to in our lives. Maybe we find parallels within the practice and with what's going on in our lives. And we might just find that support that we've been looking for. So you can begin on your mat, getting comfortable. Maybe you have some blocks with you or some books. That could be some blocks. Maybe you have some cushions available or a chair by you to help you get up and down. This is your yoga practice, so make sure you take advantage of that. And we're just going to be lying down on our backs, giving ourselves some time to reflect inward here. You can lie yourself down. And you might want to pause the video to grab some water or maybe to put on some music. I always like to look up Reiki healing music while practicing yoga. You can find that in Spotify or on YouTube. And then you can come and meet me down on the ground here. We're just going to begin this practice noticing ourselves. Bringing attention to the breath here. Our inhales and our exhales. And just notice here, are your breaths deep or shallow? Do you tend to breathe into your belly or your chest? Can you feel the fabric of your shirt as you're breathing here? Just notice. Notice the rest of your body. Do you feel tense as you're breathing here? You can give yourself a little wiggle. Maybe there's a point of pain calling your attention, reminding you to move mindfully in this class, carefully. Notice your mind. What's the story today? Have you been kind to yourself? Kind to others? Was it easy to put this class on today? Or maybe a little more challenging than usual? Do you feel clear, present in this moment? Or maybe a little foggy in the brain, a little scattered like I sometimes am? Finally, notice your emotions. What words would you use to describe them right now? You can say that to yourself, owning them, not taking them too seriously. And then let's take a deep breath in through our nose. And a big sigh out the mouth, letting it all go. Another deep breath in through the nose. Big sigh, release. One more deep breath in through your nose. Filling yourself up completely and holding it for 3, 2, 1. Sigh, letting it go. On your next inhale, lift your arms up over your head, full body stretch here. You can point, flex your toes, maybe arch your back. Oh, stretching completely. Oh, and then exhale, bringing the knees into the chest, forehead towards the knees. Nice tight ball here. Inhale, reaching your hands, your feet up to the ceiling, and let's begin circling our wrists, our ankles one way. And circle them the other way. We always want to bring balance into each of our postures. Let's bend our knees, hands on top of our kneecaps, circling them one way, giving our low back a nice massage here, our hip joints a nice massage. First one way, and then the other way. Try to stay with your breath here as we're moving. Inhale, opening up your arms, facing down if you have the space, or bent at the elbows. Inhale, and as you exhale, you can let your knees fall to the right here. Breathing into your belly, looking up. Feeling the stretch here. Only letting your knees fall as much as feels good to you. Inhale, knees back to the middle. And exhale, over to the left here. Again, breathing into the belly, allowing your breath to help stretch your body out here, to give your inner organs, your digestive system, a nice massage. And then let's inhale, turning to the left here, to set a little intention for this class. I am balanced. Maybe you've been feeling out of balance lately, and you want to bring that more into your life. Balance between friends, family, between work, play, between eating healthy and eating a little unhealthy. Balance physically in our bodies. Balance in our mind. Do we let the noise, the thoughts take over? Or do we allow room for rest, for peacefulness in there? Breathe that in, and you can meet me in a tabletop position. Take your time getting here, really enjoying this, moving slowly, carefully, noticing your body. We want to think about proper alignment in every pose, so let's get our shoulders over our wrists here. Knees underneath the hips. You can tuck your toes to protect the knees here, or point them if that feels good. Nice wide fingertips. And you want to look at your elbow pits, not forward, but facing each other here. Inhale, belly to the floor, shoulders away from the ears, looking forward. And exhale, arching the back, tucking the tailbone, tucking the chin. Inhale, belly to the floor. Looking forward or up, stretching out that chest and low back. Exhale, arching the back, tucking that chin, tucking that tailbone. Inhale, belly to the floor. If your toes are pointed, you can press your feet into the ground here, noticing how that changes the posture. And exhale, arching the back. Let's find some free movement here. Inhaling. And exhaling, using your breath as a guide here. You might circle forward, strengthening your wrists, or coming more back, loosening up your hips. Everyone, let's come forward into a neutral spine here as we inhale, tucking our toes under. And as we exhale, we're going to sit back on our touched toes, giving our feet some love here. You can rock left and right, or you can even come up high here for a bit more resistance, more weight from the full body, stretching out your feet, breathing. Exhale, coming forward, giving your feet a little pitter patter here. Inhale, tucking your toes back under. Exhale, lifting into our first downward dog. Beautiful. You can pedal out your legs here. Bend your knees, lifting your tailbone up to the ceiling. Releasing through the head, the neck. Some of us have an arched back like this. We really want to try and straighten it out by lifting those tailbone up, by bending our knees. You might be able to bring the heels down to the ground. Inhale, looking between your hands, and as we exhale, let's make our way to a forward fold here, just hanging out. Maybe you grab your elbows. Maybe you walk your hands to the right. Walk your hands to the left, noticing how this all stretches you out. And slowly, let's breathe in, rolling ourselves up vertebrae by vertebrae here. When we get to the top, inhale, reaching your hands up over your head. And exhale, hands together in front of the chest, in front of the heart. Beautiful. Let's look at our bodies here. Again, trying to come into that proper alignment. You can have your feet hip width distance apart, or maybe big toes together, heels apart. Tucking that tailbone, rolling the shoulders down and back. A lot of us collapse in the chest here. Lift through the middle of the chest, through the top of our head. Beautiful. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, lifting halfway, reaching the top of the head towards the wall. Exhale, plank pose. Lower yourself down, chaturanga. Inhale to rise. Maybe you come into baby cobra here, lifting your chest off the ground. Maybe you come up higher. Exhale, downward dog. Beautiful. Let's do that again. Inhale, looking between our hands. Exhale, making our way. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up over our head here. Exhale, hands together in front of the chest, in front of the heart. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plank pose, chaturanga down. Inhale to rise. Exhale, downward dog. Beautiful. Let's take a couple breaths here in this downward dog. Notice your fingers spreading the full weight of your hand through the full weight of your body, through that whole hand, through the knuckles, the fingertips, alleviating the tension, the pressure on your wrist here. Lifting the tailbone up to the ceiling. If you can hyperextend, not doing that so much, trying to keep that alignment in the shoulders, releasing in the head, the neck, but not overdoing it. Let's stay here for one more full inhale. And exhale. Balance on that left foot. Inhale, reaching the right leg up. You can open up at the hips if it feels good. Coming high on the left toes, we're gonna exhale, stepping that right foot through. You can lower that left knee down. Point the toes if that feels good, or keep the toes tucked at the back. Inhale to rise. Right leg forward, left foot back. And exhale, we can bring our hands down to the ground. Level one, we can always stay here. Hands on the ground. Try not to collapse your body on the leg though. Inhale to rise. And exhale, hands down. Inhale to rise. Let's tuck our back toes under, coming up high here. High crescent lunge. And exhale, staying in this high crescent lunge. Nice strong back leg, right knee over that right ankle. Always thinking about that proper alignment. Rolling the shoulders down and back, lifting through that chest and breathing here powerfully. You can have your hands together, pointers pointed. Inhale, lifting with every breath slightly. And grounding with every exhale. Inhale. And as you exhale, bring your arms behind you to fly here, body over that front leg. Inhale. Inhale, coming forward into a standing pose here, Superman. Arms behind your back, or maybe we're coming down to the ground here. You can always use a block. Working on keeping your hips parallel. Maybe your hands are on the ground. Or maybe they're in front of you here, working on that capital T shape. Breathing. Whew. If you fall, simply get right back into it. Inhale and exhale, stepping back into that high crescent lunge. Beautiful job. Let's open up into a warrior two here. I'm gonna change the way I'm standing so you can see my body. So that right foot is still forward, left foot back. In Warrior Two, we want that right heel in the middle of that left arch, right knee over that right ankle, and get low here, tucking that tailbone. Looking over the right hand with a soft gaze here. We want to find a focal point called your dristi in Sanskrit. Inhale, right arm to the sky, maybe leaning back slightly for reverse warrior. Exhale, Warrior Two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, Warrior Two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, Warrior Two. Inhale, straightening out that leg. Let's bring the back leg in slightly, setting up for triangle pose. We'll bop the left hip back. Inhale, opening up the arms, and exhale, right hand down to the ground. If you have a block, you might want to block here. You might bring your hand to your shin or down to the ground. You might look down at the ground or look up at the ceiling. And no matter where we are, we're trying to hold up our body with our muscles here, not collapsing into any position. Using that breath. Inhale to rise, right hand to the sky for Joan of Arc, leaning back like warrior, like a reverse warrior. And exhale, coming back into that Warrior Two, beautiful. Inhale. And exhale. We're gonna straighten this right leg out, bringing it parallel to the left foot. So right foot parallel to the left foot, not right leg. Well, they're actually parallel as well. Knees, heels in, toes out, excuse me. Inhale, arms up, and as we exhale, we're gonna bend our knees, bend our elbows here, coming into a goddess pose. Beautiful. The moon is associated often with the feminine aspect of our sides, that divine feminine, the creative, the nurturing, the loving aspect of ourselves. In this goddess pose, let's really breathe that in, arms open wide to receive it. And let it out as we exhale. Inhale to rise, straightening your legs, turning the right leg, setting up for your Warrior Two on the other side. Exhale, bending that left knee over that left ankle. Rolling the shoulders down and back, tuck that tailbone and breathe. Lifting through the arches, grounding through the outside edges of your feet here, breathing, gazing with a soft gaze at something in your room that's not moving. Inhale, left hand to the sky, reverse warrior. Leaning back slightly if you'd like, right hand can rest on right leg. Exhale, Warrior Two. Keep your chest up. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, Warrior Two. Inhale. And exhale, Warrior Two. Straighten that front leg. Coming into triangle pose, we'll bring that back foot in slightly. Inhale to open up wide. Exhale, bringing that left hand down to the ground here. Maybe we have that block on this side. Maybe we bring the hand down to the shin. We can always look up at that right hand, breathing here. Trying to keep your body up with your muscles, not collapsing. Although there will be points where we have to collapse as we're building up the muscles to do this posture. Breathing. Inhale to rise, left hand to the sky here. And exhale, bending that front knee, coming into that high crescent lunge here. Beautiful. Tuck that tailbone. We're going to come forward into that Superman. Maybe you have your hands on the ground, working on balancing those hips, trying to get them parallel. Maybe your hands are behind your back. Maybe they're out in front of you, breathing here. Hands down to the ground and releasing that foot backwards, coming into that high crescent lunge. And we're going to lower that right knee, coming into that low crescent lunge. Inhale to rise, lifting that body up. Exhale to lower. We can always stay stationary here, hands on the ground. Try not to collapse your body. Inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. Inhale to rise. And exhale to lower. Beautiful. We're going to take a seat at this point, coming into the yin portion of your class. If you would like to grab some cushions or your blocks again, this is a great time to do so. Coming down to the ground, my favorite place. The yin portion, we're going to hold the postures for longer, using our body and gravity to do the work here. So we're not seeking any sensation, but simply using our body and gravity and noticing the sensations that show up. You can grab your ankles here, lifting yourself up high, or you might want to roll your mat a couple times, bringing your hips a little higher off the ground. Inhale, and as we exhale, we'll bring our body over our legs. Keep in mind that every body is different. We don't need to bend far to feel a deep stretch in our bodies. Make sure you take good care of yourself today and every single day. You might want to use a block for your head here. With every inhale, you expand here a little bit, creating a little more space. And with every exhale, you bring your belly towards your spine, contracting. Maybe being able to bend into this posture a little more. In these yin postures, we can do a body scan. Let's start with our face here, noticing if we're scrunching it up in a funny position. Is our tongue pressed to the roof of our mouth? Can we let it go as if we were smiling here? We can smile here to ourselves. Notice your shoulders, are they creeping towards your ears? Let's let them go. Down and away, notice your fingers. Are they pressed into the ground? You can give them a little wiggle here, softening them. Notice your hips, your glutes, your thighs, your calves, your feet, your toes, giving your feet a little wiggle here. Reminding you to hold this pose with as much ease, to maybe soften out of the pose a little bit if you're too far into it that you can't breathe comfortably. Stay with the breath here a little longer. your mind wanders like mine just did, just bring it back to this moment. Bring it back to your breath, maybe the music if you have some playing. Something that can ground you here and now. Give your mind a rest as well as your body here. Let's take one more full inhale and exhale. Inhale to rise up. Bringing our hands behind our backs here, letting our knees fall left and right. Ooh. Giving your femur bone a much needed internal and external rotation after that stretch. From here, we're going to come into a little flow that involves our hips. We're going to inhale, bringing our knees up. And as we exhale, we'll come to the right. Maybe bringing our hands on either side of that knee. Inhale, arms behind us, knees up. Exhale to the left, hands on either side of that knee. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now let's stay here, coming into another stretch. We can have our knees at a 90-degree angle, bringing your hands on either side of that left knee, bringing your body down, maybe using a block here, or your arms, your fists stacked. Or we're going to come into a deeper posture, hands in the middle of that shin here, tucking the right leg underneath, coming into our full pigeon pose here. Some of you might benefit from a block being under the left glute here, just bringing the ground to meet it. And with our left leg forward, our right leg back, we're really trying to bring the right hip forward, left leg back, left hip back, excuse me. Beautiful. Inhale to rise up here. And then exhale, lowering down maybe onto your forearms, maybe lowering your head down to another block. And don't forget to breathe. If your mind wanders like mine just did, bring it back to the present moment. Maybe you come back to that body scan, noticing where you're holding and releasing as you do here. I'd also like to mention that the body truly does keep a score here, especially emotionally, and that these deeper yin postures might evoke emotions in us that don't really belong in this present moment. Just know that you are in a safe place to breathe through them, to let them out. It's completely normal, and what a gift to give your body, allowing you to show up more presently and authentically as yourself. Let's stay here for about 2 minutes longer. It's interesting to think that 2 minutes, I'm sure panic just shot through everybody. When is 2 minutes a long time? Only in these classes can we really seem to slow time down. So take that in, notice how you're feeling. Breathe through it. You can do it. Let's take 3 more breaths here. And then we're going to inhale, rising up. We can lift up, removing the block, coming back into that seat, arms behind us, letting our knees again fall left and right. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We can bring both hands on either side of that right knee, bringing the body down to stretch you out, or we're going to come into our full pigeon pose here, tucking that left leg under, hands in the middle of that shin. You might bring this leg closer to your body. And we'll just get ourselves comfortable on this side. We might add a block to the right glute if we have space there, or we might want to block for our head when we lower ourselves down. Inhale to rise. Notice your foot at the back. Try to get it straight. Try to straighten the foot. A lot of us clench it funny and it just twists a little funny. So just notice these little things. Inhale, and as we exhale, lower down. Beautiful. We might use a block or lower ourselves all the way to the ground. If you need to readjust the posture, go ahead, take that time for yourself. Again, this is your practice. And try to stay in here a little longer. Noticing if certain emotions come up and breathing through them. Let's take one more full inhale here. And exhale. Inhale to rise up. Perhaps removing that block. And coming back into a seat here. Letting your knees fall again, left and right. And then we're going to come down onto our backs here. And roll onto our backs, grabbing our knees here, creating a nice tight ball. And then we'll grab the outside edges of our feet, coming into a happy baby. If that's not accessible to you, you can grab your thighs here. Maybe you interlace your hands or just grab the thighs, bringing the feet parallel with the ceiling, trying to get your knees into your armpits here. We're going to lower our back down towards the ground as much as we can. You might want to grab your big toes here. And you can rock left and right. Let's take one more full inhale. And exhale, release our feet onto the ground, coming into a bridge. You might want to grab your block, keeping it close by for a supported bridge at the end. Palms facing down on either side of your hips, and make sure you bend your knees so you can touch your heels or get close to it. Try to keep your heels no wider than hip width distance apart. We're going to inhale to lift the hips up. And exhale to lower them down. We can shuffle our shoulders under slightly as we inhale to lift up. Chin away from the chest. Exhale to lower down. Inhale to lift up. You can come into the full expression of bridge here, interlacing your hands together. I like to keep my pinky straight. Lifting your hips up high, pressing your head into the ground, breathing. And exhale, lower to release, releasing your hands, lowering vertebrae by vertebrae. You can come into your full bridge here or wheel if you'd like, or just come back into a bridge. Inhale to rise. And as we exhale, slowly lowering ourselves down with control, vertebrae by vertebrae. Beautiful. We can open up our arms, bringing our hips to the left side. We're crossing the left leg over the right leg, letting them fall to the right. Looking over to the left and breathing into your belly. Let's take a full inhale here. And exhale. Then we're gonna inhale, lifting our knees up, bringing our hips to the right side. You can let your knees fall to the left or cross your right leg over the left leg, letting them fall to the left here. Looking over to the right and breathing. Inhale, uncrossing your legs. Bringing your hips back to the middle here and getting yourself comfy for our Shavasana / meditation. I've got a little blanket here for myself. Maybe you pause the video to grab one for yourself. You can open up your legs wide or bring them closer together. Maybe you bring your feet together, knees apart. Maybe you open up your feet as wide as the mat, knees together, giving your low back a little more support. You can have your palms facing up or down on your belly, maybe one on the belly, on the heart, breathing. Let's take one more deep breath in together. And exhale, release. Smiling to yourself here. Thanking yourself for showing up, for taking this time for you. It's so important and will only let you show up for the rest of your day, the rest of your life with more presence, awareness, and purpose. Let's think about that mantra, balance, and how we can bring a little more of that into our lives this month. Breathing. You can lie here and you'll hear Abby come online for her portion of the class, the meditation. Enjoy.
Hello and welcome to this full moon energy practice. The full moon is in Taurus this month. My name is Abigail and I'm from Emotional Body Wisdom. I teach people how to decode the message of their emotion and release trapped and stored emotional energy. So I'm very excited today to be sharing a little practice that I would typically give myself around the time of the full moon, as this is a time of heightened emotions. And I also take this time to really notice what patterns of mine are coming up the most, because this to me is a sign that this is what needs to be released. It's no longer serving. So we can often find that pattern in the way we are responding to our emotions. So oftentimes we'll have an emotion and then we have a million thoughts about it. So it's never just the feeling, it comes with a stream of thoughts. And I want to invite everyone today to dial back to the sensation first and start there. And so what we're going to do is find yourself in a comfortable position, whatever that looks like for you. If you need to lie down, if you need to sit on the floor or on a chair, and taking a breath and just sigh it out. Taking a second breath and let yourself release it. And one more, breathe fully in and sigh it out. Let your breathing return to normal. So we're just creating some spaciousness in the body and allowing for what needs to be present. Before I understood that the full moon was a time of release, I used to get a lot of anxiety around this time. It used to be a very intense time. And giving myself these practices has helped me immensely, in so many ways. Just to become more conscious of myself, my ways of thinking, again, patterns that are no longer serving. But I think that anxiety can also sometimes be that last piece of yourself that is holding on to something that isn't serving. So as it's leaving, the anxiety is like, no, we identify with this. So anxiety comes for different reasons, but I have discovered that my anxiety around the time of the full moon is a piece of me holding on to those parts that are not serving anymore, because it's like a death. And the ego doesn't really want to die, doesn't want to let go of what it's identifying with, which is fine. It's just an observation. So stay with your breathing. And I want to invite you to drop into your body. So if your attention right now is on your thoughts, bring it back to your body. And you can do this through a bit of a body scan, starting in your toes, moving up your feet, lower legs, knees, upper legs, pelvic area, and your seat, your abdomen and your lower back, your chest and your upper back, your shoulders, down your upper arms to your elbows, your forearms, hands and fingers, going up your neck, the back of your head, your face, all the way up to the crown. And breathe in and out. And start to notice where in your body you are holding sensation. So this is a feeling or an emotion, but we could get more specific with it and start to describe it as it's warm, it's tight, it's tingling, it's moving around. So where in your body is sensation occurring? If we feel pain and tension, often our first reaction is to avoid it. And this doesn't actually help because it's a message. So if we are avoiding it and doing a bunch of things in our day and not really thinking about it or giving it space, then the message never has the chance to come through. So today I want to invite you to give space to the messages that need to come through from your body, because it has a lot of wisdom about you and what you need right now. I also just want to remind everyone that you are safe enough right now to have this experience. So I'm going to guide you by using myself as an example. When I tap into my body, I feel there's a lot of emotion sitting here. And this has been coming up for me a lot with this full moon. And there's always reasons. It's because of this, or this happened, etc. And all of that is valid. But if I just drop into the feeling, I recognize that this is actually an opportunity for release. So the reasons have come, the stories have come, the events have come, and they have brought forth this emotion that has been inside of me for a while, actually. And they're simply giving me an opportunity to release. So join me today in finding where in your body something is going on. And just to help you to really connect with this sensation, I want to invite you to give it more form. So, is there a color present? Could you be more detailed about this feeling? Is it tight? Is it moving? Is it trying to travel in another place in your body? And just observe. And if it's an area of pain, allow for the pain. If it's emotional or physical. And let this form that you've given this color, this feeling, whether it's adding, tapping into the color of it or more detailed description, awareness of that, allow that to grow. Because this is what the sensation needs. It needs to be allowed to move as it naturally would in your body. Just to tie it back into what I said before of like, we often move away, we try to avoid. That never gives the sensation the opportunity to be processed and to move through the body how it naturally desires to do. And if you can find one word that's really sitting with this feeling. So if you are able to identify the feeling, it's shame or guilt or pain or joy even. It doesn't have to be a negative emotion. But I find oftentimes with the full moon, it's normally a negative. I don't want to use the word negative, but it's a more difficult emotion, right? So pain or fear or anxiety or shame or something like that. If you are able to name it, see what comes through for you. And now I'm going to take you through a visualization process to help you release this feeling. And we're going to use the magical energy of the full moon. I just want to say to everyone present that it doesn't matter if you believe that the full moon affects you or not. It doesn't matter if, you believe it has any power. It's irrelevant. The point is, it's an opportunity for observing yourself, and it's an opportunity for release. So now that we've tapped into our breath and our body and what is present, I invite you to visualize yourself in your favorite place. And in this favorite place, it's nighttime. So a place where you feel safe and happy, content. Maybe you're on the beach, you can see the stars, or you're in the forest. Or maybe you're at home. And wherever you are that makes you feel good, tap into the joy that that place brings you. And visualize the full moon, big, bright, powerful. And just take a few breaths to be in this presence of the full moon energy. And after you've taken some time to sit with who you are and where you are, I want you to take this sensation in your body, this guilt or shame or pain. Maybe it's a feeling of abandonment or rejection. Maybe it's a feeling of being misunderstood. Wherever it sits in your body, I want you to start pulling it out. And imagine this long string of whatever color it was. Just keep pulling it out. Getting all of it out. And once you've pulled out all of this sensation, gather it up in your hands, throw it up in the air, and watch it dissolve in the light of the full moon. And say out loud, I release this shame, I release this guilt, I release this feeling of abandonment, feeling like I don't deserve what I want in life, feeling of unworthiness. Release it. Watch it dissolve. And feel the lightness return to your body. And start to come back into your body. Maybe move some of your fingers or your toes. Visualization is very, very powerful. It's a very powerful practice. It takes you into the subconscious. When we create awareness around ourselves and our inner patterns and our inner stories, we can find a lot of empowerment in it, even in the difficult things. There is no such thing as a bad or wrong emotion. They are just messages about your state of being, and they lead you to who you are and what you need. Know that an emotion is not who you are. But oftentimes we do identify with very dense emotional experiences like shame or guilt. It is not your truth. So if you have been journeying with a feeling of guilt for a long time or a feeling of shame, understand that this is a trapped emotion in your body. And it never had the opportunity to be processed in the moment it was felt, because oftentimes we are very under-resourced in our emotional bodies as a society. Welcome back. So this is a practice that you could do really at any time. Practices like this, visualization, are very powerful. They really help us tap into the subconscious realm. And if you didn't know, the subconscious is responsible for 95% of your decision making. But the subconscious doesn't work on logic, it works on symbolism. So we can't go there with logical thinking. We have to go there with other techniques. There have to be other ways to access it. And one of the ways we can really tap into what is present in our subconscious is through our emotions, because emotion is actually the language of the subconscious. So oftentimes we can be going through life and we are logically doing fine, but something is coming up. And so we can try intellectualize it away as much as we want to, but there's no logic around it. So this is actually a very important part of our health, and I don't believe that it is spoken about enough, and more so now, these years, recent years. But emotions are hugely part of our health and well-being, and they're not very understood either. So part of my life's work is to really bring this knowledge more and more and help people really understand their emotional technology, because it is powerful. It is very powerful. So I hope this practice served you today. I do this often when I feel stuck with something. It's not the only way to release, but it's a very powerful way to get to know yourself. A very powerful way to get to know what isn't serving you anymore, and that you no longer have to identify with it. Everyone is a sovereign human being, and bliss, pleasure, and abundance is our birthright. So anything that cuts you off from that is not true. It's not a truth. There's a lot of shame embedded in our culture, a lot of guilt, a lot of shaming of each other, especially in media. And this is a lack matrix thing. It's not who we were born to be. It's not healthy for us. So allow yourself this opportunity to release yourself from these things that are not true and emotions that may be trapped. Thank you very much for joining me today. I am Abigail. I'm from Emotional Body Wisdom, and I hope you all have an amazing full moon experience and a lot of space to release. Sending all the love.
Wow, that was beautiful. Let's bring our hands together in front of our chest, in front of our heart, and end this practice with 3 chants of Om. Inhale. Inhale. Namaste. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I love to hear from you. Same as Abby. We want to know what you want for our classes so that we can really bring something powerful forward. I hope you enjoyed this. Take really good care of yourself. Drink lots of water. Maybe take even a little more time to journal. See what's come up for you in this calm state. Let your mind soar and dream up your next month. I'll see you next month for full moon energy. You can check me out at my website, adrianaasana.com. You can book some classes one-on-one or check out when I'm holding my next Zoom online class. I love you all. I'm so grateful for this space and for you joining me. Thank you.